Folks, bad news. I accidentally deleted the video file for this podcast. Now, that's not a huge problem. I still have the slides, so I put them back in. But I'm going to reference a lot of stuff in this podcast wherein, I draw with a pointer. You're not going to be able to see me drawing with a pointer because, again, I accidentally deleted the video file. So it may be slightly confusing as to what exactly I'm referring to. I mean, it's a bonus episode, though, so you paid for it. If you're mad, I guess unsubscribe, whatever. All right, here's the episode.
Suck this place dry.
What?
That was Daniel Craig saying, "Suck this place dry" from Quantum of Solace.
Suck this place dry.
If you think we have time.
All right.
Awesome. So, what James Bond movie are we reviewing today?
Oh, well, hello and welcome to Kill James Bond.
Yes.
with me, Alice Caldwell Kelly. I'm joined, of course, by Abigail Thorne and Devon. And Jason from Not Just Bikes.
Yes, highly relevant.
That's
I'm
right.
Devon.
It's me, Abigail Thorne.
That's right.
Hey, Abby.
Leon, you're a little quiet. Excuse me,
because-
Abby.
That's because I spoke a little quietly for once in my life.
Oh, I see.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, well, now I'm doing the Matt Christman eat the microphone technique.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
That's what I do.
Get some
I-
gravitas.
Yeah.
I simply set up my microphone and soundboard properly ahead of time.
Yeah,
Well, you're a
according
professional
to Nate,
podcaster here.
my
No,
audio
the
quality
only
is
one.
terrible, but Nate doesn't edit this, so he can suck my nuts.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Well, it's a bonus episode, so you know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Abigail
have-
Thorne, Devon, and Alice Caldwell Kelly, and Jason from Not Just Bikes.
Yes,
right, of
and
course.
we're here.
Correct.
We're here doing a bonus episode about the worst bike infrastructure we've ever seen. Except Streets Blog USA stole Jason's post and did their own article about it before we could get this podcast recorded about that post, which was the entire purpose of that post.
Listen, that's what journalism is now. You have to be on that. You have to. We've been fucking scooped like it's like Hearst and Pulitzer.
Exactly. So yeah, if you want to cancel your Patreon, you can do it and just go read Streets Blog. I guess
everything
we're
they ever
useless.
talk about here is on Streets Blog.
The good people behind the must-watch YouTube channel, Not Just Bikes.
Yes. Single person, apparently.
Have you ever read the Titanic episode of Streets Blog? It's like 900 pages long.
I don't understand why they would use a clover interchange on the Titanic. It's a bit beyond me.
Yeah,
Anyway.
just getting onto the Titanic, this isn't very bikeable.
For what it's worth, Streets Blog did warn me that this was coming, but they didn't ask permission. They just said, "Hey, this is coming."
I see.
Like
That's
they're
cool.
doing a hit piece on you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well,
Would you like to comment?
Yeah, Ross, do you want to talk about your beef with Streets Blog?
Oh, that was a while back. When they promoted an article which was about, I think it was a combined bike and bus lane. I want to say in Pittsburgh.
I hate those things.
And I said, this is some of the worst bike infrastructure I've seen in my life. And they blocked me.
That's like a friendly urbanism,
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of the worst bike infrastructure you've seen in your life, let's start with number one, the Sharrow.
The Sharrow. This
Yes,
already
Sharrow.
sounds like some Tolkien shit.
Yes.
Our shadows will blot out the sun, Alice.
Here we start out pretty basic. This is the basic bike infrastructure that you see all
That's
over.
not infrastructure. That's a drawing.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
paint.
It is a drawing, yes.
Sharrows, share the road arrows, or something like that. Is that where it comes from?
Probably just share and
think
arrows.
just
Sharing
the
arrows.
arrow,
Mm.
Yeah.
Share the
Arrows.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I used to call these, when I lived in Toronto, when they started bringing these out, I started calling them chalk outlines because they were where they preemptively marked where the cyclists would die. Saves a lot of time.
It's a lot cheaper to like do the sort of Lascaux cave paintings of a bicycle, an ancient bicycle, than it is to like build anything. So
it means no one has to go put a ghost bike out there. There's already a white bike.
There's already one on the ground. It saves
Yeah.
so much time. They get the crew out once. They don't need to come out every single time because like people are obviously going to die every day here. So
Yes,
this is much easier.
Let me guess something here. This shit does not work, correct?
yes,
Correct.
Well, it does
Whatever
for
you ask-
mowing down cyclists.
Yeah, whatever you want work to mean here.
Well, I think the interesting thing here is that this one is backwards.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was the interesting one here. This was from Dan Kostelek from Kostelek Planning. He actually has a planning consulting company in the US. He puts out lots of good stuff, but this one was funny. He found backwards sharrows. So they're supposed to, if they're used the way you're kind of supposed to use them, it's like they're almost like directional signs. It's like, here's where you should be, and then the nice bike path continues this way. That's of course not how they're used typically, but at least they're supposed to point to where you're supposed to go. This one doesn't even do that. They point backwards.
Yeah, so at this point, this is less a sort of supportive infrastructure and more trap.
I was just using the road legally as defined by the road markings and somehow smashed into an F-150. How did this happen?
You guys have got to start putting 50 cals on your bikes.
Mr. Forrester, you finally joined us.
I always like the idea of you have a bomb on your bike that explodes on impact.
Oh yeah, you're
There's
like
a-
fucking
there's a folk
Snow
punk
Crash.
band yeah. There's a folk punk band called This Bike is a Pipe Bomb.
Hmm.
And someone actually got their bike destroyed because the cops thought it was a literal pipe bomb.
Well, you probably shouldn't mark your pipe up
Yeah.
with this bike as a pipe bomb. You're kind of asking for trouble there.
I've seen the meme a few times where people are carrying propane tanks on their bicycle, and they're saying that normally the way it works is a car hits you and you die, but this way a car hits you and you both die.
Yes.
Oh, and this happened apparently 4 different times, including at St. Joe's in Philly.
Also, I should point out, friend of the show and producer of Trash Future, Kill James Bond, Nate Bethea, who actually I should have invited
Pitch Boy
on.
Buffet? Yeah.
Yeah. It did in fact bike with a propane tank, not for mutually assured destruction reasons, but just because he was carrying one and needed to get it across town. Did not stop him from getting knocked off the bike.
Jesus.
And
Nice.
it didn't even blow up. So
terrible.
I feel like we can debunk that as a method of like cyclist self-defense.
Yeah, you need the 50 cal.
What you need is one of those like placards, the hazardous material placards.
Yeah, but then you have to
Ooh,
look it
yeah.
up with the placard app on your cell phone.
Yeah,
You get run into by some guy looking it up on his phone. What is code 9 again? All right, we got more sharrows. This is another one from Kostelek Planning. This is where sharrows are supposed to show you which way to go, but they got a little overzealous
what
with
the
the
hell
sharrows
is
here.
this?
I was about to say.
Technically,
This is when you use the copy paste tool in Photoshop on too many times.
What I find interesting is the fresh pavement around all the sharrow
It's
markings.
bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
if you string all of these together, if you tessellate them perfectly, it does technically count as a bike lane.
I guess so. Yeah. You just run on a continuous sharrow. But then of course, once you go across the intersection, there's cars parked on the curb there where you're supposed to go.
Well, you should follow the sharrow.
I think the sharrows just end there.
Applying like sort of video game environmental storytelling principles to this, you would think that what a sharrow does is you ride across it and it makes your bike go faster. And
That's
it
a
just
good
sort of
point.
like
Yeah, that's
like
right.
a speed boost from
Accelerates you.
Mario
Like
Kart.
this is what
yeah.
everyone learned from Mario Kart. Yeah.
Exactly. I think we should make those real. I think we should find. I think science should find a way to make a pad in the street that will accelerate your bike over it.
It's easy. You just have like a little treadmill there that's constantly running.
Yeah. See, we're onto
Sold.
something now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll invest.
My other joke for this is that it promotes your bike to corporal, but that wasn't as good.
Here are some fun ones. We got no notes on here, but you can see the sharrow that leads you
Onto
through
a
this.
highway.
3-lane to double 2-lane highway split here, which I'm sure is very, very safe and easy.
This was placed in the dead of night by a John Forrester shaped suspect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get to highways.
I don't think a bike with a rocket launcher is going to be very rideable.
No. You just got to get the French paratrooper like Vespa moped with the recoilless rifle through it. You just got to do that, but on a pedal bike. I think it can be done.
Love to mount my anti-tank rifle.
Absolutely.
Down here, we have a very small Shero on a road that's signed for 35 miles an hour, but designed for probably 70.
Just go for it. Yeah. Follow the little thing. That's why you need the acceleration boost it gives you.
If you go 35 miles an hour, like John Forrester says you should,
then there's no problems at all.
You will not be turned into marinara.
This is literally the John Forrester picture. And so the Shero is supposed to tell you, I mean, if you read the rules of what it's supposed to be telling you, that's where you're supposed to be riding. It's supposed to be an indication as to where the cyclist should ride. So here they think you should be in the middle of this. I don't know what this is, like 14-foot lane.
Yeah.
Going 35 miles.
I mean, that's peak vehicular traffic, peak vehicular cycling, rather.
Yeah.
You take the whole lane and you occupy that, and then you go 35 to 70 miles an hour.
And it's proven safer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have like something on your bikes to like make your handlebars comically wide? Like some sort of
extend out. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Well, I always like you stick a pool noodle on the back of your bike to make people pass 3 feet away.
Yeah, I met some pool noodle people in Toronto, and that was the moment that I was like, I can't live here.
I think if you, what is it called? The pit in Vietnam that if you fall into and you hit the
Punji sticks.
Yeah. Ugh. I think you need to have some sort of spear on the back of your bike.
Ooh, yeah.
And then it can, or the laser from what is that? Alice, what movie is that?
Which one?
The Bond car laser. Is that for your eyes only?
I don't remember one with the car laser, but he had
it's in the ski sea. Is it A View to a Kill, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. There's a couple where he has like hubcaps that come out and like destroy your tires if you try and like overtake him.
Yes.
Is that what you mean? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a car laser, but we should keep moving.
There probably is. Yeah.
What if we had one of those? I'm thinking like, the anti-mine tank attachments with the rotating chains.
The flails, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah,
plus then your bike funny is my way through traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. And then your bike can also be used to clear minefields.
Which is, that's what I do to Roz usually when he's being difficult. I mine the bike path for him. That's what gets him his agility.
We're on to the next category, the wrong place.
Yeah.
So here's a fun one. This is Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
it's a very nice street. I like it a lot.
I remember when there was a big controversy about installing bike lanes here because it was undignified for the United States' premier, parade ground to have a bike lane, and they decided, well, the best place we should put these bike lanes in this 8-lane road is right in the middle.
Yep. I mean, my answer to the sort of the military prestige thing is you just put the troops on bikes. We bring bicycle infantry back.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's a missed opportunity here.
That's my new tank. It's on giant penny farthings.
Yeah, they all have their big multicam pool noodles to stop you from passing them too closely. This is going to do very well.
Yeah, one of the issues with this bike lane is that it had to be designed so that everything was removable, right?
Yeah, because when the president drives down it or walks down it for inauguration,
or maybe the Klan or something,
that's
historic.
But the thing is, you can combine the Klan and the president in one guy and save time.
That's a good point,
as have been done on several occasions.
Yes.
At least we could say pretty positively that Joe Biden wasn't in the Klan.
I know he was friends with a lot of people who were.
Yeah.
But because he liked being friends with older dudes because he was cool. But like, listen. He just had a type. All right. He went into the Senate and he went to the oldest motherfuckers there, and he was like, "Oh, can I be best friends with you?"
Robert Byrd. Let me I said shuck your balls. I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
Shuck your balls.
Shuck your balls like an oyster. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get
that's what
on the
I
NHS.
normally do. I normally do that. I'm out here trying to play it like a clarinet, but
Absolutely. You cover the balls in like Old Bay, and then you like.
You guys paid for this. That's the worst thing.
Jesus Christ.
One of the things about Washington D.C. bike infrastructure is it's full. The city is full of stuff that will, it's all nicely striped and paved and everything, and it still gets you killed because the Lafont sort of Baroque city plan is just not friendly to motor vehicles.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Let's have more of that.
Yeah, but it's not friendly to motor vehicles in such a way they can still drive at high speeds.
Oh, that's good.
Give you big Houseman style streets for the cannons to shoot down, just in case anyone gets any ideas. Yeah,
I really do wonder what people are thinking when they build these things in the middle. Like, I know it's just easier that way, but how the fuck do you get in and out of this thing?
Walk your bike,
use
nicely.
crosswalks.
Yeah,
yeah. So that's illegal.
Great pieces of biking infrastructure that require the bike to sort of like switch between being traffic and being an object pushed by a guy walking.
Oh, we got some of that later. This is a place where people get taken out by people making U-turns constantly, even though U-turns are illegal.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get killed by
you will be turned into marinara by the Secret Service.
Yeah, like a 10-ton armored Suburban, but it won't even be the Secret Service. It'll be like the protective detail for the Undersecretary of Agriculture, who should not need one of those, has one anyway.
It'll be Senator Lindsey Graham.
It will be.
Yeah.
Senator Lindsey Graham's like assistant's protective detail, taking a blind corner at 60 miles an hour is just going to turn you into paste.
And then call you the N-word for some reason.
Yeah.
This is a proposed one in New York City connecting, the street grid with
oh my God,
the West Side Park.
Opening up the City's Skylines workshop, selecting intersection,
and
just going fucking wild.
Unbelievable. Like, what is that in the center? It's
Megatron's
like
asshole, Jason.
It's one of those like novelty levels you would make for like Counter-Strike Source.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You can hide in there underneath the arches.
You like surf around it. Yeah, totally.
Well, the roundabout here is already there. This is a Robert Moses creation.
The
bike lane is interesting because they are not doing anything at the high-speed entrances and exits to the roundabout to make bikes more visible to cars.
You don't deserve it.
Yeah. So this is sort of like, the bike lane comes from nowhere, number one.
Yeah.
And then they striped it green. And then there's not really anywhere for bikes to go.
You just go around.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I mean, being visible as a cyclist in New York City, you're like, I imagine, constantly like wearing a sort of like inch thick layer of grime and snow slush that covers any like high vis you might be wearing. So fantastic stuff. I'm mostly just thinking about video game levels now. I was expecting you to put up a picture of like Blood Gulch for the next one.
Well, the next one is actually one I use fairly frequently.
Oh no.
So this is Baltimore Avenue and 43rd Street.
The nightmare hazard perception test.
I had no idea what we were looking at here. I looked at this one and I'm like, the fuck is this?
This was actually made in the 1920s as a kind of Italian futurist art project to see how many different patterns a human mind can process at once.
Yeah. This is where Roz plays Frogger with his life.
This is the anarchist prison cell they made during the Spanish Civil War to drive fascists insane.
One thing that's very bad on a bicycle is if you hit trolley tracks or tram tracks at the wrong angle.
Right.
Yeah, you go base over apex.
Yeah, because then you get stuck in the flange way, and then your bike just gets stuck and flings you right off.
I think anybody who's ever cycled in Toronto has done this at least once. I know I have.
Then you or the bike get hit by a tram, killing you.
I am so far the only person I know in Philly who has not gone over the handlebars at a trolley intersection. But this one's impressive. Fun because you get to this intersection, you're at the stop line, and then it sort of indicates you go straight into the bike lane up here. but that involves crossing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flangeways at increasingly shallow angles. Right? So each time you go across one, you have more chance of getting stuck. What I usually wind up doing is I cross over here, right? But sometimes there's a car illegally parked here, which means I have to like just make a right angle and keep going.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They love doing it.
So this is certainly a indication. There's no indication that there's a hazard here, and in fact, it's sort of indicated that you should proceed in the most hazardous fashion.
Yeah, just gun it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot emphasize enough how much Philly as a city hates cyclists. I mean, I know all cities hate cyclists. Philly feels like especially some days.
Ooh, I recognize Britain.
Oh yeah,
have more
there's
of them
plenty
than
of Britain in
anywhere
here.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is trivial. Just ride your bike up the stairs. If you aren't you a BMX pro?
Yes, I've seen videos of that.
Just like hop
Just
it
do
up
it.
each stair. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, doing a wheelie, you know. This is from Plymouth.
Yeah.
The one on the right. I'm not sure the one on the
makes
left.
sense.
The one on the left was found somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
It says autorisé frei, which is like
What?
somewhere that's bilingual in French and German. So
The Swiss.
Could
That's
be-
Swiss.
yeah, the fucking
Probably
Swiss.
Swiss.
The
Yeah.
Swiss want you, and like, here's the thing, right? There's a grand tradition of Swiss cycling where you like you take some LSD, which you just synthesized, and then you go for a nice bike ride. And I'm trying to
your
imagine
Sounds
vault
awesome,
full of
by the way.
looted Jewish gold you won't give back. Yes.
Yeah. And if you're Albert Hoffman and you've just synthesized LSD and you go on your nice bike ride, and then you immediately go down 5 stone steps into 2 lanes of traffic, LSD is never discovered.
Exactly.
And
That
so
is
I mean
true,
that's the real risk, is the risk to our psychedelic drugs.
The question is, how many other drugs have we not discovered as a species
innumerable.
because
Good
of
point.
because
Wow.
of infrastructure like this?
Experimental chemists are a bike riding people, and
They
as
are, yeah.
such, so much has been lost to civilization just because, they got dawed or they went
Tragedy.
down. Yeah, absolutely. We
That's
could be
why-
higher than we could be levels of altered consciousness as yet unknown.
And the only people who didn't go for bike rides after synthesizing drugs are the people who made crappy bath salts and fake weed.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
you synthesize something that makes you want to lie down, like.
That's what happens when you have car brain.
That's true.
Or-
Smoke a bunch of spice, then get behind the wheel of a car. That's what I like to do because I grew up in central Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Let's talk about the merge lane.
Well, let's talk about drugs some more.
The merge lane. Oh my god, this is
Never done drugs.
This is-
That's not true. I smoked weed once before a film studies class. Laughed a
Wow.
lot, and then was like, "Yeah, no, I don't ever want to do this again."
Oh, I love
I've,
drugs.
I've done every drug.
Yeah,
I've
same.
done ones that don't even have street names. I used to be in the rave scene. I was a DJ, for Christ's sake.
Doing shit that's only numbers, like it's an experimental
like-
trial.
Like 2CB and 5-MeO-T. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've not-
guy who knows the difference between 2CB and 2CI is like a
Yeah,
scary kind of guy to me.
Was never a research chemical guy, but I do love heroin. That's my one.
I've heard it's very Moorish. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
you'd have to be on drugs to want to cycle down here.
I
Or
was
to put your
about to
kids
say,
here, even for the
here we
photo
see
op. Like, Jesus
Two-
Christ.
2 children about to get cut
Braver
off
than me,
by a
certainly.
large truck.
Someone about to lose a lot of points in Euro Truck Simulator.
I was about to say, yeah, you squeeze 2 children between the trailer. That's not good. Not
At least
ideal.
it's got that little bar there between the wheels. So that's
Yeah,
something.
it stops them going
right?
under, therefore they get dragged along and into the
Yeah.
wheels.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but they don't get dragged under, Alice.
Good
That would
point.
be barbaric, Alice.
Here's another one I use.
Oh,
This
no.
is, as I mentioned, my nemesis in the John Forrester episode. This is 33rd and South Street, and this is a busy 2-lane road in one direction. Comes right off the South Street Bridge, which has an interchange with I-76 there. And you don't know until you get to this implied merge here whether a car is going to go for the turn lane or whether they're going to go straight. They may signal, they may not signal. They may try and rush ahead of you to get to the red light more quickly.
And they will do that.
They may signal deceptively in order to try and throw you off guard and then murder you.
Yes.
And this was recently repaved. And the main improvement, the main change here was they got rid of the green paint.
Yeah, they made it worse.
Jesus Christ.
We were talking about that. And it's like, man, if rich people can't have like half decent cycling infrastructure, what hope is there for the rest of us?
Exactly.
I think this was the most common submitted category of all of the images I was sent on Twitter and Reddit, mostly in the US. But like this was the typical thing. There must have been 30 examples of this, and I only pulled like 3 or 4 for this slide deck.
That's so funny, right? Like the idea that like, oh, we got a lot of submissions, so I really had to pare it down to just the absolute minimum to show how dangerous cycling is. 67 slides in this slideshow, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, exactly, right?
Well,
and boy, I cut hundreds, literally hundreds.
Hey, Rod's other half opens on Friday.
This is a very common treatment, though, in the United States.
Yeah.
A lot of time it's not done this well.
As we will see.
How would you make... okay.
There's several ways you can make it worse, and we'll see some of them coming up.
This is by the Penn Museum. This is...
Yeah, so you can get murdered here, and then your body will somehow be acquired by the Penn Museum of Anthropology.
Just put you straight in a sarcophagus and carry you off.
And then they at least aren't honest about where your remains are.
6 guys just hustle you into a sarcophagus before the ambulance gets there.
Well, no, that was actually a big controversy recently, as the Penn Museum somehow had acquired the remains of the children killed in the MOVE bombing.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah,
we talked about this, in fact. Yeah. Museums love to do this.
My God.
We have a whole bonus episode on the museum that gets into why.
This is true.
Should listen to it.
Wow, that's very good, Alice.
This one is from City Skylines YouTuber Prez. Here we see a bike lane, which is in between a merge lane and the main roadway.
Ooh, just cut through the bikes.
It continues upward until there's a right turn lane up here, right? So essentially, they're telling everyone, here's a dangerous weave zone. Bad enough for cars, but now you have bikes in the middle too. And that's where you bike guys should ride because of reasons.
This one, I like this one because it's the first one I've seen so far that's equally spiteful to cyclists and drivers. Because if you're driving, you want to merge into a 3-lane road, which is dangerous enough. They're just running a bike lane through your ability to do that is very funny.
I was about to say, there's a huge amount of situational awareness required to not be killed here by a variety of things.
Right. I mean, a car is going probably 35. A cyclist is probably not like. I'm not.
No, he's going 35.
Oh yeah, he's a Forester. My mistake.
Obviously.
The United States, one of the things I've learned in a year of doing the show is the United States is a dangerous country.
We homicidal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We as a country are very pathological in our hatred for each other. That we then sort of say, well, we're all united by being Americans, which is only A, really true if you're white, and B, if you have money. I feel like there's a sort of hate your neighbor approach in the United States that feels unique, at least in my travels, but may not be.
I mean, maybe there are other places like it, but I could be convinced by like American exceptionalism here.
Yeah.
So this is from Twitter user @WalkThroughWater.
Jesus Christ himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, that'd be Walk on Water. My bad.
Walk on Water. Yes. And this is an interesting one because it's a weird mix of old and new guidelines, which have both been applied incorrectly, right?
Sort of a half Jesus who can wade at any depth.
Yeah.
Like he's in like, over the Marianas Trench, but it still only comes up to his knees. But he still has to make a bit more effort than just walking on top of it.
But it seems like the implication is you're supposed to take the lane until the right turn lane starts,
Yeah.
right? And then you get in the bike lane. But then the bike lane, as recommended by a very old bike design guide, ends probably about 100 feet before the intersection,
Right.
which implies you should merge back into traffic.
Yeah.
So you should
Fuck
just
you.
use that bike lane just for that one section of merge lane.
Yeah. I'm curious about this one. It's like it's there just because they wanted something to do. Like, was this sort of mandated by the Road Painters Union or something?
I imagine they were just trying to check a box.
Yeah.
Is there
Or
a bike
maybe
lane? Yes. Is it
this was the
usable?
moment when the lanes
Meh.
got wide enough that they could fit a bike lane.
The county mandated some kind of complete streets requirement, and the traffic
To
engineers
get federal
were like,
funding.
yeah, hey, I would put a bike lane in. What the?
Yeah, right,
give
come
us the
on.
money. Hey,
Yeah, 30% federal funding now, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the affordable housing quota of a new project. Listen, our streets are 30% bike lane compliant. It's just they're all
By
in
weight.
like, yeah,
30% bike
exactly.
lane
It's
by
like it's
weight.
10 feet here, 15 feet there, and so on, and it adds up.
This
Right,
is
this-
from
yeah.
Aggressive Meat 4639.
I'm glad you said that one. I was
Great username.
to read it. I thought,
Fantastic.
this was from my subreddit, and I really like this because they were nice enough to sign it. Like that one on the left is the sign for what you see on the right.
Let me just get in the middle of two lanes on each side. That'll be real easy. And yeah, I mean, it does say yield to bikes over here, right?
Yeah.
Which, as we can see,
In a tiny, tiny, tiny voice. You to bikes.
yeah, it is a very small text. And so, yeah, you have one lane becoming two lanes over the bicycle lane swap. I don't know what you actually call this piece of infrastructure. I don't know what the name is.
Well, Engels called it social murder. Yeah.
Yeah, social murder. Yeah. This is also from Twitter user Walk Through Water. Or no, excuse me, that's just a duplicate of the old node. And
Yeah.
I don't know who this is from. But,
Well, if this is from you, we're sorry we
Yeah,
forgot
sorry
your
about
name. Yeah.
Yes, and this is. So what we see here is I guess this is your travel bike lane over here, right?
Yeah, and then
Which
if you want to
presumably
turn
has a-
left,
That has
Yeah.
a horrible merge back here somewhere. But if you want to turn left,
You just cross
You
4
all-
lanes of traffic.
all you have to
Okay.
do is cross 4 lanes of traffic and then get in this nice green bike lane over here, which even has a buffer, so it's very safe.
No, right?
Mhm.
It's a buffered bike lane.
yeah.
That one was for 50% federal funding.
Exactly. And if you really squint, you can see the same treatment on the other side of the intersection.
I'm
Oh
so
my God.
struck by like thinking about this, right? I'm thinking about this in terms of what we've actually seen done, right? How all of this stuff was made. And so far we have seen nothing more substantial than paint and 2 signs. And one of those signs is ride your bike down a fucking staircase. Is anyone gonna like build anything? Maybe could you get like a curb or like
Don't
even
lay
some?
that into existence.
We lost the ability to do curbs sometime back in like the 80s.
Bollards? Even?
That's also lost technology.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was lost in the Dark Ages. The
Mhm.
Romans had great bollards, but sorry.
Well, I mean, I'll quote Dr. Yanniga: the Dark Ages refer to a lack of bollards, not any kind of decline.
Yeah, bollards were first invented by Franciscan monks.
Yeah, they were kept alive by the madrasas.
Yeah, it's a scholastic bollard.
Yes.
How many angels can dance upon the head of this bollard?
These ones are
we've
from
seen these
Canada,
before.
so I really wanted to include these. We have Dan Parent on Twitter on the left here. This is Ottawa, and on the right is Brian Doucette, an urban planner in Waterloo, Ontario, where I went to university. So the one on the left here in Ottawa, they've very nicely marked where you're supposed to ride your bike through these intersections. See if you
How
can
good
find
of
that there.
Yeah.
Those dotted lines with
you
the
get-
narrow lanes.
Nice. All you have to do is, again, merge across 2 lanes of traffic.
Yeah, that was very nice of them. And then here on the right was the image I put with my post, which is Northfield Drive in Waterloo, Ontario.
Which
I
people
feel
contacted their representative about in that
Yes.
thread.
Yes,
I feel unsafe looking at this, despite the fact that I'm sitting in a chair.
This is where this whole slideshow so far is, you look at it and you're like, maybe Forrester had a point.
Yeah, this is no shared infrastructure, no sort of like sustainability. No, it's a war of all against all. And,
I did
transportation is a zero-sum game.
yes,
I managed to. Someone
mutually
sent me
assured transportation.
someone sent me a copy of his bicycle transportation textbook, and I skimmed over it today. And what struck me was there was actually no recommendations for almost any kind of road design stuff in there whatsoever, except
great.
one thing, which was to add a diagonal section of pavement next to a diagonal railroad crossing so cyclists can cross it at 90 degrees. But that was like the only diagram in the whole
Put in
book.
a ramp. Put in a ramp so you can just go over it.
Yeah.
Come on, John, you can't jump a train.
What's the matter, Johnny? You never taken a shortcut before?
He just jumps his bike at 35 miles an hour through a very slow-moving boxcar with the doors open.
Dukes of Hazzard style. The thing that's crazy about all of these images is that some traffic engineer had to draw these plans, right? Like they all have to be drawn on paper, and some engineer had to sign off on them, and somebody it went through several layers of approval, and this is what you got. Like
someone had to put their PE stamp on there.
right,
Someone
exactly.
had to dust their hands and go, "Yep,
Looks
fixed
good
it.
to me.
Looks good to me."
We will have fewer cyclists who complain
Exactly.
Absolutely.
because there will be fewer cyclists.
That's
Let's
right.
get
Highway.
on the highway. So this is from Pale Rider 318. This is
Love it.
Yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
be a Pale Rider too.
This is
FDOT really does hate cyclists.
Oh
Like,
my
they
God.
really
Oh my
have a
God, yeah.
seething hatred of people on bicycles.
pedestrian pathway isn't very good either. This is the approach to the Acosta Bridge in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, but at least the pedestrians get at least like a low barrier, Roz.
I was about to say, yeah. I mean, this is a glorified, extremely narrow shoulder. What strikes me about this is this approach starts as a normal street. If you want to continue down the normal street, you would have to keep going straight
Oh no!
over this
over
exit.
the off ramp.
Which you can't. No.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And then, but if you are going over the bridge, you get this nice, 3-foot wide cycle lane, which actually I believe stops once the bridge proper starts.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Hey, but the hospital's right there, so like,
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. When the F-150 smashes into you, knocks you right off the bridge, you fall right into the hospital.
yeah, they have
Right
a
through
bunch
a
of like
skylight.
crash mats set up underneath the skylight.
You go
Yeah,
straight through the skylight into the waiting room.
this is mostly a make work program for glazers.
Oh man.
This is from Libington in Bend, Oregon.
Fuck, dude, it sure does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your bike lane is on the side, and it goes along this highway exit. But then when you get further down, you stop at this nice ADA curb cut here. So it's good for
Yeah, you can fucking run a wheelchair across this. Fuck it.
No, but it's got the textured bumps for blind people too.
good point.
This is the most efficient way to kill a blind person I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Modern traffic engineering device.
You should not get your traffic engineering ideas from the T4 Axion program.
And then once you've stopped, you can then go perpendicular across the exit and then continue along the bike lane.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Note implied crosswalk, but without markings.
Mostly I'm just noting the fucking video game Frogger, which is happening here.
Mm.
Hey, Ross, can you do me a favor and cut that T4 joke, actually?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I'm gonna get yelled at about that one. You can leave it if you feel like it, but put a disclaimer on that bitch.
Disclaimer: I apologize for the T4 joke.
Yeah, I
Disclaimer: I
do.
apologize for being a Nazi. Yeah,
I'm not. I'm Jewish, and I've actually punched a Nazi. Everyone on Twitter is like, "Yeah, punch your Nazi," and they never do it. I have punched Nazis.
Good for
what
you.
did it feel like? Squishy or like?
I injured 2 of my fingers, but I broke his jaw. So
Nice.
Hell yes.
That's a win.
This is
all right,
from
back to bike stuff.
Bicycles or something? Yeah.
This is the wrong side of the road, so you know it's Australia.
This is from Shaggy Ninja on Reddit.
This will teach you to rack off their fucking utes.
A bicycle ute.
Ooh, isn't that just
yeah.
a cargo bike though?
That would just be a cargo bike.
A cargo
Blades.
bike ridden by John Forrester.
So,
Yep.
bicycle crossing ramp. So I guess you have some dedicated pathway here, and then you're supposed to merge across the ramp and then keep going.
Well, no, what it means is the guys from Jackass come and like set up a cardboard, like a plywood ramp, so that you can ramp over the off ramp.
I think if there was a ramp like that might be safer.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
it
one
would
of those.
certainly be an
I'm
improvement.
Justin Rosniak, and welcome to Jackass.
Yes.
It's like one of those salmon tubes they used to like shoot fish over dams. Exactly the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, if
Same
you just put
principle.
enough power up Sharrows beforehand to get everyone to the exact correct speed.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god.
Here's beautiful Dayton, Ohio.
Mhm.
It really does look nice though. I'll say that. It's a nice day in Dayton.
Yeah, nice weather.
Home of trolley buses.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Home of lightly cracking asphalt in the sun.
I think Dayton may have they have a very extensive trolley bus network. I don't think it's the biggest in the United States, but it's certainly biggest for a city of that size.
Oh, shout out to
Nice.
Dayton, Ohio.
Flyers.
Yes.
Mhm.
This is from Java's Gifted on Reddit. And you can see they've added some helpful green paint here.
Yep.
After the hazard.
Yeah. After you're done merging, it's just there.
it's like a little pat on the back. It's like, well done, you made it, buddy.
No, congrats. You get
Here's your bike infrastructure.
Here's 100 feet of green paint.
you're still riding. You made it. Well done.
Yeah. This is what our federal funding got us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, another one from Australia here.
Yes.
I think this was by the same person, whoever it was before.
I made it through one slide about Australia without doing the accent. Let's see if I can go for 2.
Oh.
This is
You already said rack off your fucking ute.
Yeah, but I didn't say it in the accent. I just said it in my normal voice.
Yeah, okay, fine, fair enough.
so this is interesting because it has signs for bicycles, but not so much for cars, it seems.
Mm.
You know, there's
Well,
always
the car signs are just implied.
I guess so.
Well, they have the 110. I figure that's for cars. Even John Forrester can't go that fast.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. So they give you an indication to go 110 right before where the bikes are supposed to cross the ramp.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
and for cyclists at the same point, they give you a little math equation to solve. you got to stop, get out your chalk, and you can work that out before you merge.
Good idea. Yeah.
Maybe it's in binary.
Here's Palo Alto. This is from
This
Twitter
is
user Tyler M. Chenry. Tyler M.C. Henry. I don't know.
Tyler McHenry, bud.
Tyler
I'm
McHenry.
gonna
All
pivot
right.
to becoming right wing so I can do their one joke and be like, this truck actually self-identifies as a bicycle.
This is in Palo Alto, and this is a bridge over I-280, right? And this whole intersection is a standard cloverleaf intersection, right?
Mm.
And so that means that this bike lane, which does at least have some green paint, is for the length of the bridge in the center of the weave area.
So one thing that I've noticed as not a driver, but as an often passenger and like an observer of car traffic in my home city, is that like drivers, as a rule, especially in Glasgow, but like pretty much all over, have no idea what lane they want to be in at any time, and whichever lane they are in is the wrong one.
Right. Yes.
And so it's their immediate number one priority to move into the other lane without signaling or looking.
Yes.
And they'll do this 5, 6, 7 dozen times in the space of about 100 meters.
Or you could do like Liam and do a Jersey slide over all of the traffic in the last second.
What do you want to do? Do you want to apply a little bit of like
for the taunts about my driving specifically?
You want to apply a little Scandinavian flick. You use the handbrake, and then you go sideways down all 3 lanes.
Plus, you would not believe how much the girls love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No one ever swears at me and says, "What are you doing? I don't want to be in this car anymore.
Yeah.
Are you insane?"
Yeah. And meanwhile, it's like, to come back to rally again, as the rallying expression goes, you can tell a good driver because he has dead cyclists on both the side windows.
Yeah.
You just scrape them off when you're done. Yeah.
You mark it up like a bomber.
I don't understand. I have never killed you. I have never even been in an accident with you in the car.
That's a metric of true friendship. Not once have I ended your life.
No.
I mean, we've done speed redacted on the Heritage
You've done
run.
Speed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done every drug, Alice. We've been over this.
Okay.
Not as much as Jason has, but my definition of every drug. 155, and there were no cyclists before anyone gets mad at me, and it was 3 a.m. And if we hit a moose, we hit a moose. We agreed to that. He knew what he was getting into. Roz agreed to the terms.
Agreed to getting into that. It like shook like over beforehand.
Also, you got that nice certificate from that police officer on the
I was in upstate New York,
New York State Thruway. Yeah,
that's because we were doing 95 in my mom's Subaru. If anyone was curious. I'm not a good urbanist. I would
It's
say
a good of achievement.
We do frequently use an exotic technology to get to our destinations more quickly, known as speeding.
Quite a bit.
Speeding unshielded through the warp of like northern New York.
Anyway, bicycles.
Bikes.
This is from AA Blue Dot on Twitter. And this is in Clark County, Nevada, which I believe is Las Vegas.
I believe so,
yeah. And this was the runway of Area 51.
When I first saw this
little green man pedaling past you, screaming about lane usage.
I looked at this one and I thought, there's no bike infrastructure in this. This is just like a bad highway exit. Like, what is this? And then I saw, there is actually a bike lane over the right side.
I just saw it.
Yeah,
it
took me a while.
It's like those jump scares.
I almost didn't want to include it in the slides because I thought this is just a bad road. Like, this is ridiculous. They
gave you a traffic light over here to stop the traffic theoretically if you need to cross.
And there's a pedestrian crossing there.
Yeah, it's so nice of them.
I would guess they have a beg button up there or something. And of course, for 2 lanes, they need 3 traffic lights because people are that inattentive.
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay.
So I was going to yell at me in the comments about speeding on the Heritage Run.
No one uses that road. We went 400 miles and saw 3 cars.
Yeah, exactly. And it was in not even the dead of night because we had to wake up at 3 a.m. to get a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about There's Your Problem as a podcast is that if we are traveling to a location, we will arrive there very quickly.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Yes.
Yes. This is the Patreon episodes where we admit to all the illegal things we've done.
Yes.
I've never done any crimes. I'm such a fucking nerd.
Come on, Alice, let's do this.
I don't even cheat the like self-checkout at grocery stores.
Well, you know what, Alice? At the rate the UK is going, being trans will be a crime soon.
I was about to make
makes
that
me feel
joke,
a lot better. Yeah.
You could apply for asylum.
Yeah. Well, a woman did. A woman applied and got asylum in New Zealand because of how transphobic the UK is. So,
Damn.
Yeah, maybe move down there.
Our next category is the obstacle course.
Fun at your kids' birthday parties. Not so fun fighting for your life.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Benyon Gardner sent these in. This is apparently a sidewalk intended to be used for bikes in Daybreak, Utah, which is a
Stupid
sort of
name for a place.
Mormon new urbanist community.
I hate all of those words, and especially in that order. I do like the little sort of like impressed bicycle marker.
Yeah, that's why I really like this, because it shows that somebody cares.
Nice to look at, not nice to ride over.
No.
What's interesting is this town seems to have very nice bike infrastructure otherwise, but this is pretty dumb.
That's for all the weirdos that moved out to Utah for Silicon Slopes bullshit nonsense. All those Lycra boys, I don't know.
Yeah, you're riding this along to Temple, and you get perfectly decapitated by your incredibly starched shirt collar when you hit that lamppost.
Hello,
Yes.
Brigham Young Money. Your state is stupid.
I looked at this community on Google Maps, and it's interesting because it is like your classic like late 90s new urbanist community, but the focal point is the temple.
Yeah. Roz.
Yes.
Don't you want to live on your own god planet or whatever the hell it is Mormons believe?
Fallout New Vegas. And yeah, no, absolutely. This is what Salt Lake City looks like in New Vegas.
This is a separate bicycle path from Twitter user Arnold Gull, right? And this is a piece of fencing here designed to slow you down so you don't blow through this crossing on this presumably seldom used gravel road.
Yeah, it's a little chicane, which you can ride through very easily by simply taking both hands, putting them on your hips, and then inverting 3 of your bottom vertebrae.
That's how
the old
you do
Marilyn
it.
Manson rib removed to suck your own dick thing. Yeah.
Yeah, this does not appear to be possible even to walk a bike through.
No, you got to like hoist it over, huh?
Yeah, it's
or
pretty.
Just go around.
Just go around. That's what I would do.
Just completely unfenced. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of these submitted too. Quite a few of them in the UK in particular.
Oh, we love British local politicians love putting these usually in metal.
The metal ones.
Yeah, in alleyways to stop youths, who are the greatest enemy of the British reactionary, even ahead of trans people.
That's true.
From riding anything from like little push scooters all the way through to mopeds through alleyways. Those alleyways are only because spite.
Asbos.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something that like they can post a photo of themselves next to, being like, "Look, we're doing something."
Yeah, and here it is here on the first one here in Manchester. I've seen so many of these in the UK that look just like this.
Just absolutely ubiquitous. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know why you need to slow people down here, other than I don't know. I mean, I can ride over the bridge though. There's clear sight lines. It looks fine to me.
It's a bridge.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's for like areas that are like intended purely to be pedestrian, and a lot more times it's for areas that like are like coded for bikes, but then everybody forgets that conveniently because they hate teens, and so they decide unilaterally that what that actually means is only pedestrians.
They'll do it.
So this one is from Mad Cycle Lanes of Manchester, which was a website that I came across the other day that documents all sorts of things in Manchester like this.
Now, the only thing I can say here is I think if you had an angle grinder, you might be able to take this out in 45 minutes or so.
Yeah. This is
not
sort of
suggesting
less,
anything, but
less a traffic calming measure and more a sort of like qualification and combat engineering. You get your Sapper tab once you've like removed one of these.
And then on the other side, we see this is much more sane, I would say.
Yeah, you can just
somewhere in Germany.
You can negotiate.
You can actually get your bike through there. You still slow down right before the tram tracks, so you don't get murdered by the tram.
Right.
Yeah, I think you might have to like walk it through those, but like that's fine.
It's not
I'm not mad about that one quite as much.
Right.
You get mad about the next one.
Right.
So this was a wheelsforwellbeing.co.uk, which is an organization in the UK that's all about accessible infrastructure, and they have
Oh, it's awesome.
they have a inclusive cycling campaign because in the UK there is no acknowledgement at all that anyone other than people in their men in their 20s ride bicycles.
Yes.
And so they have a bunch of pictures here like this one guy here on his hand trike who fell over trying to get through. This is all over the UK. And I hear stories from people on my channel. I get people contacting me, telling me that it's like, this is the big problem that they have.
It's absolutely ubiquitous.
It is. It really is. This kind of thing is everywhere in the UK.
Mm-hmm. And I can't stress enough how much, like, I mentioned it as a joke, but a great deal of this is down to, like, sort of terror of antisocial behavior and of youths generally.
Absolutely. It's all the ASBOs. It's all the, like, we can't have these youths here.
An antisocial behavior order, which is essentially a judge tells you that you're not allowed to be annoying anymore. But generally what will happen is, because like British cities have a lot of like alleys, backed onto on both sides by houses typically.
Sure.
And what will happen is like the most annoying person in that row of houses will go, "Oh, I don't like them youths," complain to their local councillor or MP. Their local MP will see a quick win. Put in the fucking barriers, take a photo next to them, and the thing is now completely inaccessible.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that sounds like it sucks.
It's kind of NIMBYism.
Yes.
Welcome to the UK.
Why should people be allowed to enjoy their cities?
Crabs in a bucket.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
This is Milan. You can see
that. But I thought Milan was all stylish and like relaxed and effortless.
Yeah, that's why no one rides a bike, Alice.
That's true.
You go around in your big Alfa Romeo limousine, and then I'm driving.
Yeah, I'm driving my Alfa Romeo. I'm wearing heels to do it. I'm just the most insufferable person on earth. Yeah.
I look extremely stylish.
Absolutely.
I've never had a positive emotion about anyone.
My bag cost 15 trillion euros.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's made out of an animal so endangered you've never heard of it because there was only one, and it's now my bag.
The blue is Indonesian children's tears. Yes.
Yeah. Every day I flay my staff mercilessly, so that they have to like oil all of my individual leather goods, of which I own far too many.
Yes. I actually own a ranch in Texas to supply me with leather goods.
But I would never buy from my ranch. I wouldn't be contented in that ranch.
I go through 3 wallets a day.
The 8-hour
once the wallet runs out of money, I throw it out and get a new one.
I do like the idea of an Alfa Romeo limousine cracking straight down the back.
It gets a single particle of rust, all the doors fall off.
Well, listen to that engine note.
I would be interested to know the history of this bike lane or this bike path, just because
it's in northern Italy. It was created by the fascists, and then it was just partially dynamited during the time of the Italian Social Republic.
Yeah, they put the fence there to keep people from driving down it. Problem solved.
There you go.
Italians famous for obeying rules.
This one says location unknown, but it's from Kicks Reloaded on Twitter. I'm going to guess this is Bucharest.
I was going to say, look Central European.
Yeah, it looks Central European. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the bike path goes directly into a tree.
The thing that so impresses me, right, is like obviously this tree has not grown overnight, right?
Yes,
which means
very old tree.
They have put the bike path around on purpose while it was there.
This was intentional.
And then
there's this other tree here clearly is much newer and of much lesser quality. So I don't know why you don't just chop down that tree and go around the existing tree.
They planted those trees when they made the bike lane.
Well.
But
This is the thing. You can fulfill your bike lane quota and your tree shading quota at the same time by just having an entirely tree, like a slalom of like trees in the middle of your bike lane.
Ceausescu said, "Put the bike lane here," and they did.
It would have been Elena. Elena used
I guess it would be Elena.
her scientific acumen to determine that this is what you do. I'm impressed that they've maintained it to such a standard that like there's no root cracking or anything, despite the fact that it's over a fucking tree.
They have to repave it twice a year.
Yeah.
This is in Austin, Texas, from Tato Nader on Reddit.
We all float down here.
Keep Austin weird, and by that,
we put bikes in the gutter.
Please ride your bike directly into the storm drain.
and fuck you.
That's something else, isn't it?
This bike lane just says should have bought a car, and then it called me a slur.
Yes.
It's really like, you get a mountain bike, you want to test out the suspension on that. So yeah, if you want to ride a city bike, do it in a city that isn't Austin. Get a fucking trail bike.
I gotta say, I mean, this looks bad enough during the day. Imagine if you're riding at night, you don't notice that the bike lane is suddenly
Instant
split.
Death. Yeah,
just instant death. Fly right off the bike onto the road, get run over by 3 18-wheelers.
Imagine if there's a little tiny bit of water on the ground.
My God.
Just anywhere in like a 5-block radius because it's meant to go there. Oh my God.
Here we go.
Hey, Alice.
Yes.
What's dark fruit?
Dark fruits? Oh,
Yeah.
you think, is it dark fruits with an S on the end?
Yes.
You were thinking of a brand of lager made by the company Strongbow. That's
what I thought. Thank you.
It's a very basic kind of lager, but it's for people who don't like the taste of apples. And if I say Strongbow Dark Fruits Twitter, everyone in Britain will know what I mean, but you won't. So yeah, it's like Fiat 500 Twitter. It's shorthand for a type of guy. Meantime, check out this to stop you driving your cattle down the bike lane.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is from was 314159 on Reddit. I guess this is a para image, and you can see storm drain and storm drain. What you may notice is the orientation of the bars on the storm drain. So you have a 50-50 chance when riding your bike of either riding across safely or
totally shitting
going straight over the handlebars as your bike rim is dented irreparably, and you go face first into the asphalt and break your face.
Yeah, but like I said, it stops you from driving sheep or goats or cattle down the bike lane.
Yes,
exactly right.
But this is actually a surprisingly common problem. We had this issue on the South Street Bridge when it first opened. No one had considered that. Bikes actually can't use these bike lanes because the grates are the wrong way.
Nobody ever considers drainage. This is another thing, right? Tower Bridge in London. Yeah. So in order to prevent like what you would call, I guess, vehicle terrorist attacks, where you just like drive onto the pedestrian area and like run people down, what they did was they installed barriers, like permanent barriers. And those blocked every single point of drainage for the bridge deck. So now every time it rains, Tower Bridge just floods.
That's just terrific work, boys.
Absolutely.
Good job.
It's a canal.
When you said no one ever considers drainage, my first thought was that scene from Airplane where the guy is doing a long-winded anecdote.
Oh yes.
And then Airplane the lady hangs herself.
Airplane is one of 6 movies Ross has seen.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I was just watching some
clips
clips and showing them to my kids today because that eventually they need to watch that movie. I will tie them down Clockwork Orange style and make them watch Airplane.
It's good gag movie. Good for like real density of gags.
That whole kind of like Abraham Zucker thing. Like you watch Top Secret is another one that's also.
I just listened to your podcast about that and I was like, I need to watch that.
It's very good. It's a good time. It's difficult to make a podcast about because it's so funny.
It's a genre of film I feel like we don't really have anymore. I think I maybe it was like I don't know. I think the Scary Movie franchise kind of made everyone sick of that style of movie.
But it did transition to television because we got Arrested Development out of it, and Archer has running gags.
Sure, but it's still not the same as like you know what I miss is Police Squad.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's television.
That's a good one.
That's television.
My favorite gag in Police Squad is when he's interviewing the woman. He goes up to she's like traumatized or whatever. He takes out a cigarette and he says, "Cigarette?" And she says, "Yes, I know."
I like the gag when they're panning up the sexy lady and it goes through 2 sets of knees. So this is in Nairobi in Kenya. And I don't know exactly what's going on here. But this is I guess when the when they put the bridge in, they decided to add a short stretch of protected bike lane under the bridge.
And it's so protected. It's protected on 3 ends.
You can't even go in it. That's how protected
it is.
Exactly,
you got some really good curb protection.
You asked for curbs, we gave you curbs. What are you complaining about?
What do you want?
Absolutely. What you want to do is you want to ride your bike in from the other end, stop it right next to the bollard, and you're impregnable. Yeah. You know, so long as you don't need to go anywhere, your bike's totally safe.
Safest place in the city.
Really dig in with your bike. That's why actually some of the best places for biking safely are in Albania.
That was good.
Yeah.
Ross, I have good news for you.
What?
Purim and St. Patrick's Day are the same day this year.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be an interesting day.
That's gonna be aggressive. Here we have bike lane in the Netherlands.
Fuck you.
Yeah, this first one's from the Netherlands. I actually found it by searching for slechte fietspad in Nederland. And this is what came up.
What the hell does that mean?
Bad bike path.
Yeah, the worst bike path in the Netherlands.
I forgot my superlatives. Yeah.
There is something about how, the thoughtlessness that the decal indicates. Please drive directly into the bollard and kill yourself.
putting like a dozer blade on the front of my bike and seeing how many of these I can get through.
What happens if you actually slalom through this is at the end, a giant ground-mounted razor comes up and just slashes you open.
I think we could gamify this a bit. I think what we do is we make all of these flex posts and then you make one of them a bollard and you change which one it is at random. Yeah.
And then this other one's from Alias Alpaca on Twitter. This is a brand new bike lane in Edinburgh.
Ah, of course it is. Well, I mean, like, that's pretty good for Edinburgh, given that it doesn't go up or down any stairs. But, like, look, what do you want? It's got reflective tape on the fucking lampposts.
Cyclists are so entitled.
Look where you're going, man. You got handlebars. You can fucking turn the thing.
No, there is at least room to maneuver around the pole.
Yeah. And it's still room on both sides, no less.
It's still, like, careless.
Yeah. Just like tie a pillow to the lamppost at head height, just in case.
Here are some trees which have grown, unfortunately.
Well, what can you do?
At least one of these is also from Nairobi.
You can paint some concentric circles around it.
Duck.
This is a very
tie a pillow to it at head height.
I think there's something to be said about preserving the street trees. But also, maybe they could have taken out this parking spot here and given bikers a shallower curve,
It's a low mobility test.
Well, of course, what people are actually doing when they come through here is they're just sort of moving over a little bit and they're sort of bending their head over so they don't get smashed by the tree.
Yeah. Well, at least they did put posts in so that you can't, like, park there and block off the only non-pavement way around.
Well, they're flex posts, though.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Boy, yeah.
We made a kind of bollard that isn't real as a joke.
Take your bike and ride it to the sign and smash your face on it.
Yeah. So these two images are together. This is from Jono DW on Twitter from Christchurch, New Zealand. So this was a new piece of infrastructure that was put in by the local provincial government. You ride into the sign, and then immediately after the next image is very shortly after there, it ends.
Yeah, so a big boxing glove comes out and punches you.
Yeah, you guys play that weird upgrade version of Rocket League. It's like that, but in real life.
You just got to jump the curb and then go into this 6-inch wide strip of green pavement here. And then there's a nice bike box for you up here. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly, right? This one I really, really liked because when I first looked at it, I thought, you know what? This is actually pretty good infrastructure. I don't think this is worth including. And then I saw it.
then you see it a second too late.
Yeah, welcome to the garrote wire bike lane.
Welcome to us solving some problems creates a shitload of other ones. What are we going to do with all of these loose cords? On the streets that we have to have now.
This is going to get you a lot of federal funding because not only do you have active transportation, you also have electric car infrastructure.
This is our green future.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, you can't run the wiring like under the streets. That would be insane. You can't have a little hydrant thing that you would have to like plug into. No, that's too easy.
It's impossible because this buffer would have to be a curb, and we forgot how to make curbs. All curbs that exist were built in like 1980 or earlier, and we can never move the curb line ever again.
Right. That's it.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
So I just want to charge my electric car by plugging it into a hole in the fucking road. Is that so difficult to do?
Yes.
So the reason this is like this is because it's got a wire attached to it that keeps you from stealing the cable, right? So that's why that's what's holding the cable up like that. Yeah. It's fine.
Oh my God. This appears to be...
I'm going to be the only person who makes this necessary. I'm going to embark on my life of crime. I'm going to commit my first crimes, and it's going to be, I'm going to go around, see where people are charging electric cars, and then I'm just going to steal the cable.
All right.
I think we could do better. I think we can make I think we make these charging cables perhaps stronger, more rigids. Perhaps we can like line them with like sharp things and
make them out of solid steel, like just steel
exactly,
pipe.
like a braided sort of. Yeah, absolutely.
Here, it's been 1 hour and 12 minutes. I'm gonna go use the restroom, and then we'll do the second half.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do the same then. I'll take advantage.
I'm gonna grab a bottle of water. Musical interlude. Got a can of Diet Coke instead of a bottle of water, so.
What? I'm back.
Oh, we're just having a short intermission while we all go and get drinks because we're incredibly thirsty from having talked for an hour and a half about how bikes are going to kill you to ride.
And you deserve it.
I've got my second lukewarm English ale. I'm ready for the next hour.
Very, very, very patriotic. I have a small can of Diet Coke, which I'm trying to become the one person because, like, remember Donald Trump's Diet Coke tweets? It's very funny. I'm trying to become something which he denies the existence of because he's like, you never see a skinny person drinking Diet Coke. he's right, and he's right. He's right, and he should have said it. I think about the Trump Coke tweets all the time, not least because after having said you never see a skinny person drinking Diet Coke, which is true,
I'm back.
Hi, Rods.
He goes, the Coca-Cola Corporation is unhappy with me because of my tweets. That's okay. I'll keep drinking that garbage. Mwah, perfect post.
really an exemplary post, though. I mean, one of the finest.
And I mean, also me. Like, again, we've been into this, that we're hypocrites and you should do as we say, not as we do. Because, like, every so often I'll be like, killing union organizers in Colombia. That's okay. I'll keep drinking that garbage.
Jesus.
It's true. All right, bike lanes.
Bike lanes.
No, shut up. We're talking about smoking cigarettes now.
We're not talking about bike lanes. We're talking about Bic lands.
Yeah, this is a Bic land.
If you can smoke a cigarette while riding a bicycle, And then
smoke a cigarette while
it's
drinking
health,
Diet Coke too, and it cancels it out.
It's health neutral, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very skinny
Unless you
bike
smoke
lanes.
a light cigarette, you can have. You've got to go like one or the other. You can have like a light cigarette and a full Coke, or you can have a Diet Coke and a Marlboro Red or whatever.
Marlboro Reds.
Tastes like steak and potatoes. I miss them still.
Oh God, Sam.
Welcome to Flavor Country.
And now that you know why my voice sounds like this.
This is a land bic in Riverside, California.
No, it's a big land party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big land.
Absolutely. Everybody's playing StarCraft.
No, everyone's playing CSS. Thank you.
What do people play at LAN parties? Jesus, I'm so fucking old. I think people still have LAN parties.
Halo CE. I did with my friend the other day.
Oh, that's cool.
Thanks.
So you have this is from
Just thinking about
Plastic
Blood
Value.
Gulch still.
This is from Plastic Value on Reddit. If the bike lane stencil doesn't fit, it's probably too narrow of a lane.
Yeah,
But
that should be a
Mhm.
tip off there. Yeah.
It fits. They just didn't like paint it properly on the like edge of the road for some
Yeah.
reason.
Most of the submissions in this category came from the UK or Ireland,
Yeah.
but this was one in the US.
We're a cramped country or pair of
Mhm.
countries.
This one is from Belfast in the north of Ireland.
Listen, how wide is a bicycle?
Yes.
Exactly right.
This was submitted.
This is for the world's skinniest man.
Two guys both called Billy, one of whom is like scratching behind his ear going, how wide does a bicycle get? Well,
It's definitely wide enough for the tire.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Stencil doesn't quite fit, but it's probably the wrong stencil.
Mm.
This is from Twitter user Ellen from now on, who you may know as owner of Bilbo the Cat.
Hell yeah. The sectarian cat. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look, I love a mismatch or a misplaced stencil. I was a big fan of Biclan, mostly because I love to collect misspelled things. I cherish most of all the thing not far from me that was for a long time the bup stop.
What now?
The bup stop. It's where the bup stops to pick you up.
Could at least be a BAP stop.
Yeah, well, no, I mean they'd done the B and the U, and then the guy, I guess, just on autopilot just painted out a P, and it's like, yeah, the bup stop.
Pop stop.
This is from @Liger in Melbourne. Quote, drivers get very upset if you stray outside the green gutter, or if you try and pass them using the green gutter, or if you make eye contact, or if you don't make eye contact, or if you stop for pedestrians, or if you ask them not to drive in the green gutter.
But listen, how can it be unsafe? It's in the safety zone.
Yeah, it's
Right.
green. That means it's safe. Oh, right. It does say safety zone.
Yeah, it says safety zone.
It's a safety zone, Rod.
Keep left, safety zone.
Mm-hmm.
Highway to the safety zone.
So this is like a personal mission of mine to make the bike lane the standard name for it, the painted bicycle gutter. And I've started seeing it all over the internet. So I'm having some success. So if you're listening to this, please refer to all painted bike lanes as painted bicycle gutters from now on.
The Stumpy.
These were very much a UK thing, like a European thing in general, because I find that that Europe is all about the like, these are the standards for bicycle infrastructure, and we're going to put in a bike lane where it fits.
Yeah.
So yeah, almost all of these examples were from Europe. Lots from the UK and Ireland, as usual. What I will say though about these ones here, the top one and the on the left, the top and bottom are from the Netherlands, which I found in a search for the shortest bike lanes in the Netherlands.
This is closer to sort of gaslighting than infrastructure.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, no, come on in. It's fine. No, it's not.
No. And the one on the right here is from Luxembourg. The one thing I will say about this, though, is that these are really basically modal filters. They're the European nice sign way of saying don't drive through here. You can see how well that works on the right here.
I was about to say that there is a car in this bike lane.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because it self-identifies, I suppose. This is fun. Like, I see why they do it. I might start doing this more often now. But doing the one joke has a certain like comic power of its own.
But yeah,
All right.
I guess this is like going into the City Skylines traffic manager mod and then saying this one segment is bike only. Now no one's
Right.
going to drive all the way through. But
That is
apparently,
literally exactly what it
much
is.
like in City Skylines, people still drive through anyway.
Mm.
I mean,
Now,
that's my favorite
this-
hobby. I haven't told anyone this, but I actually go out sometimes. And what I do is I purposely attach a 50 cal to my GTI and mow down cyclists for the sexual thrill.
Very
Oh,
nice,
yeah.
Liam.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I said that just to annoy you.
These are traditional English cycling
Yeah,
laybys
these
where
are
you can park
very,
up
very
and go
English.
dogging.
Yeah.
Go do
That
what
makes sense. I mean, people in Britain really do love to go dogging.
Dogging, Liam, is when you park in a car in like an out of the way space, and then you and all of your friends who have also parked there in their cars have sex with each other.
I don't think that's what it is.
No, that's
No,
what that
no.
is.
No, because this is dogging on a bike.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
that's
is
true.
bike dogging. It's a little bit like cottaging, which I always found very funny in the UK because there was the term cottaging.
Okay, fair enough.
But we also have a term cottaging in Canada that means something very different.
Wait,
It
what
means
does it mean?
going up. In Canada, it just means going up to your cottage. So you'll say like, "We're going cottaging this weekend," and the British people would be like, "What the fuck are you talking?"
I don't know. I don't know what the British version of cottaging is.
This having sex in a public toilet because
I
it's
see.
in a sort of like
Why?
you like this in a kind of like park design fit of like tweeness. They decided that public toilet blocks in parks should be made to look as much as possible like cottages.
Like cottages, yeah.
Yeah, so that you feel like you're in a fucking Regency novel instead of Slough.
No, I feel like I've been in an Alzheimer's ward.
There were a couple of strange cultural moments when I moved to the UK, and that was one that I very clearly remember, is telling people about cottaging.
Yeah, well, this is your like dogging lay-by.
Oh.
Yeah, I was about to say. I genuinely, I don't know what the intended purpose of this was, other than to check a box.
Fucking in public.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Especially that one on the left. That's just bizarre.
yeah. Well, I guess this is like you were on the sidewalk, and now you can get off the side. I don't know.
Get off on the sidewalk, maybe?
Yeah,
I guess so.
Because you're
Yes.
dogging.
It's for your
Yeah.
dogging. On your way to the
It's for
cottage.
sex, Roz.
Yes. And this, I guess, is here's a pad where the bikes go. This is in Tel Aviv, submitted by @Rosen Jonathan.
Yeah, they demolished the entire Moroccan quarter to build this, and the result is to fit it in like a wide sidewalk, 2 lanes of traffic, and then the single bicycle pad.
Well, this has been since extended 1 block, apparently. I don't know if it was into the West Bank or not, but
doing the sort of the Vox thing of going like, well, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip are linked by a bridge by going like, well, they're linked by a bike path network.
bike path, yeah.
Wow.
You can. I mean, that would maybe be the only time you could say adding a bike path is actually, colonialism, which is a common refrain over here.
One of those like musical streets where it just plays a land acknowledgement and you pedal over it.
More from the UK.
We are a dismal country, aren't we?
You
Yeah.
are.
So
You
this
should say it, Alice.
This is like a prime example of curbs being a lost technology. Is because we don't know how to build them. They're so precious that we also can't remove them.
I was about to say, this is so I guess you hop the curb, you go 20 feet, you hop the curb again, you merge back, and that makes a lot of sense. I see nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this one has a flat curb, which thank God they installed that back in 1985.
Yeah.
Before the
Otherwise,
technology was hopelessly lost forever, right?
Yes.
Doing like a canticle for Leibowitz, but you're carrying the sole remaining
Great
knowledge of how to make a flat curb.
Yes. This is from Anonymous, and this one's from Spin Cycle Magazine on Twitter.
Good name.
Yeah. Well, I was like the one of the Washington bike blogs back in the day. Bike magazines, I forget. It was called Wash Cycle. I thought that was very funny.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. I probably included too many of these, to be honest, but I just couldn't help
laughing
at
I
these.
cherish
this is,
every single
this is
awful
just
British vibe that you've given us.
So many
First
memories of
country.
living in the UK here.
The little fucking twee, like low traffic neighborhood planter boxes
right?
too.
Yeah.
Another classic.
You gotta drive your bicycle right between the two boxes. And
Well,
then,
what those are meant to
onto-
do-
Slalom course, baby.
When they
Question mark.
introduced these, the idea was you put these boxes full of straw, you use them to block off like an actual road to keep like traffic, neighborhood traffic, and also so you can just ride your bike between them. What they've done here is they've left the road open, blocked off the pavement and the bike path.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't want any of those cyclists cruising through at 35 miles an hour.
Exactly,
It's a-
right?
it's-
Taking out
it's a-
kids.
you son of a bitch.
It's an LTN, not for cars, only for bikes.
Exactly. We need those ASBOs on bikes out of here.
This is
Yeah,
from
that's right.
Twitter
That's
user Lycra Optional.
Oh.
This is from Twitter user Jim Moran. This is from Leeds. You can see this two-way bike path here, which is about as wide as one-way bike path.
and it
And
just
it
stops.
goes 20 feet and stops. Yeah.
I love that it has the little end on there too, just so
Yeah.
you know.
And
Yep. And then I don't know. Are you supposed to dismount and walk? I don't understand.
I don't understand how you don't like get in trouble for like cycling on the sidewalk on the pavement when like some of these things clearly are just designed with the expectation that you should.
Yeah.
Must.
yeah,
I mean, the thing is, these don't even look like they were made professionally. You know,
No,
They-
they're
they do actually-
recreationally.
yeah, it looks
Look
like
like
someone
they were
who just
painted.
happened to have access to road paint decided one day I'm gonna stripe this on my
A
own.
deranged sort of Charles Stross sort of
Yeah.
like secret society of road
Yeah.
painters.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, but
down here, the guy got stopped by the police, and they were like, "You can't do this, but you also have to mark it as the end of the lane." And the policeman just stands there and watches you end the lane properly.
this wasn't
like-
done by any cycling advocate. This was done by people trying to frame cycling advocates for being
This was
ASBOs.
it's just like, you know, the scene in Canadian Bacon where they make them
the right.
redo all the anti-Canadian graffiti in French
Another
as well.
Yeah.
great movie.
Yeah, or from The Life of Brian, where they correct their Latin. The Romans go
People
home.
called Romanus,
Romanus.
they going house.
I love that scene. Oh. And this one here I included only because it was right near King's Cross, where I used to live. Yes, I actually live near King's Cross. They mostly got rid of the prostitutes by that time.
Yeah, I was
but
going to
not
ask whether
entirely.
that was like the old by King's Cross when it was scary.
It was in the transition period. The Flying Scotsman
Mule.
strip pub was still there at the time, but
I remember, not that pub specifically, but I do remember King's Cross, say 15 years ago when it was still.
yeah, I moved there in 2006, 2007.
15 years ago.
Yeah, there
And
you
of
go.
course, this is
I think
this
that was
is
when I was in London for the first and only time.
Actually, well, not the
yeah.
only time, but
it's St Chad Street also, which I find very pleasing.
I did not have money for sex workers. I barely had money for Liam.
Yeah, I was like
You would have
14.
been what, 14? Yeah.
Yeah. We lived right around the corner from King's Cross Station because I worked in Cambridge. My wife worked in London, so we lived in London, and I went to Cambridge every day, which sucked, but it was the opposite way. So at least I got a seat. But we did often find used condoms on our stoop and on our sidewalks. So
The rent, £4,000 a second.
Exactly. I loved how when we got to the UK and all of the rent was priced per week, because if it was priced per month, you'd get a heart attack.
So this road narrows, I guess, going one way, and then there's some bricks over here with a picture of a bike on them.
Yeah, just as like informational, this is what a bike looks like.
Yeah.
Just in case you forgot.
just so you know.
This one was from Mr. Custardo on Reddit, who I see pop up quite often. So I should give him his credit for this one.
One of the things I find interesting about road striping in the UK as opposed to the United States, in the United States, you use a stencil for the bike indicator, but in the UK, there's actually just a man with like a thing that stripes.
Yeah,
the
he has to
symbol
freehand it
manually.
every
Freehands it
time.
Some
This
of the
is how
stuff
the-
they
yeah.
freehand is so incredible. Like there's videos
yeah.
online about it. Like they can do perfect circles. It's incredible.
It's an art, but on the other hand, this does also sometimes lead you to bup stop.
Yeah.
Bup stop. I've
Bup
also
stop.
I've also seen sus stop, which got much
That's
funnier.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
I've seen in the United States someone do a shkahool bus.
Oh, there's definitely
yeah.
been
Oh, yeah.
some schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, schools.
Emergency vehicles only.
Yeah. Well, that's Italian.
Underneath the sign, there's the second sign that says, "You knew what I meant."
I would appreciate it more if they just did like a single freehand line through it and just redid it again 5 feet up the road.
That'd be pretty funny.
All right, the flexi post. Oh
The
yeah.
flex post. Well, this is in Liverpool from @Feral Tweets.
They I mean, climate change has had a huge effect on herds of flexi posts.
Yeah,
And
it's
you,
really
can see,
tragic.
Yeah.
you can see them here lying dead in the sun.
Yeah, this was apparently taken last August, and it has not been fixed since, and has in fact gotten worse.
Cool.
Yeah,
Great.
all right.
I mean,
Awesome.
that's the issue with flex posts is that they flex, and then eventually they flex too much and break.
We
know-
got to start doing the rogue bollard thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. We really do. I remember a discussion in Toronto when I was trying to be a bike advocate before I told everyone to F off. And we were having this discussion about flexi posts and how they don't work. And I remember someone from the city said to us, "Well, we have to use flexi posts because curbs could damage a car."
Good.
Okay.
Terrifying.
Yes.
Okay. You know, it would be a shame if someone like popped the tire. That's why we have to get cyclists killed.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
And speaking of Toronto,
Yeah.
this one is from Heather Jackson W. In Toronto, where the garbage truck just drove down the street over every flex post.
This is interesting. This is the same model flex post we use in Philly.
Mm.
You can see the reflecting tape is disintegrating since
Yeah.
these things get run over constantly because that's
Constantly, right.
apparently standard procedure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just drive over it.
Yeah,
In Toronto-
Fuck the rules.
In Toronto, they use all sorts of different kinds of flex posts. It's like, I don't know, they get a new vendor every other week. Everything is different. But one of the things I've noticed is that there'll sometimes be some really narrow bicycle lanes, but the flex posts will be really high sometimes, like way past your handlebars. So your handlebars can't go over them. So you end up being like really squeezed in because you could crash just by knocking your handlebar on the flex post. Because
my
they
God.
flex, but not enough if you're on a bicycle. So I have a video on my NJB Live channel where I rode some of Toronto's new bicycle infrastructure. I think it's called Toronto's new painted bicycle gutters, if I remember correctly. And there are so many scary fucking, I'm whizzing down a hill on this, 1 meter wide bike lane with flex posts that are up to almost my head level. And it was very harrowing. Love flex posts.
I've never quite understood. Like, it seems like the philosophy behind flex posts, at least how they do it in Philly, is like, well, we need these because what if emergency vehicles have to go around? And as a result, emergency vehicles and also anyone who feels like it will run over the flex post with impunity. And I
Yes.
think, the record for these flex posts lasting is like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Most of the places where they've been installed, they're all gone. I think the main exception is the Chestnut Street bike lane, which has a row of parking protecting the bike lane. So those flex posts have not gone as quickly, but they are going.
They are gone.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And it just seems like a huge waste of money because no one respects them. Because I like what Alfred Twu called them, car ticklers.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that should become the official term for sure. I'll
Yeah.
start using that one.
Yeah, it honestly, there was a nice row at like 38th and Walnut of flex posts. Those got taken out, and then they got replaced with cones, and people respected those.
Yeah, people will respect cones for some reason. It
is true. It's
like a flex post is like designed, it's like optimized to be run over. Whereas if you run over a cone, you're gonna at least like, even if it doesn't damage your car, you're gonna know about it.
Yeah, you get it stuck in your undercarriage, and it's like,
yeah. Flex posts don't work.
No.
Onto WTF.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing
this is all the stuff that I just couldn't fit in any other category.
This one is an Olympic training circuit. Actually,
get off.
This is actually the biathlon training circuit.
Just like when the signs start chanting ominously at you.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a biathlon training course.
Yeah. It's like a really boring Burma shave ad.
So apparently this is Harlow in the UK.
Oh, hometown of Milo Edwards.
There you go.
Essex. I mean, yeah, no, that fits perfectly. I mean, I love that you're going over the tactile like braille tiles too. That's very nice.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, what is down here at the end that requires you to dismount this severely?
About to say,
I'm assuming each one of these is a driveway, and then you need to dismount when you cross the driveway.
It's an incredible way to make cycling slower than walking.
It's an incredible way to like boost your thigh gains if you're getting on and off the bike every 5 feet.
This is for your benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bet if you had a step through frame, you'd probably do this pretty quick.
I've always liked a step through frame. That's the only kind of bicycle I've ever like wanted to have, so I would be fine.
We'll have to teach you how to cycle first there, Alice.
You could,
that's true.
You could ride it side saddle so you can get on and off really quickly while you're going down.
Now you're thinking.
It's another from the collection.
He's just solved a little puzzle here.
Yeah. From was 1314159. That's pi. I just noticed
it's
that.
Pi.
Yes.
Was pi.
Yeah, it was pi. But yeah, we can see a small flaw in bolting the bike rack to pavers.
I mean,
I love this. I just love this. I
find it very funny, but as like a security thing, I kind of get it. Like, you're not carrying that plus the 5 pavers that's on with your stolen bike.
Yeah. If it was 4 pavers, but 5 pavers, no way.
It's actually 6, isn't it?
Ooh, well.
It's 6.
Even more secure. No, I mean, bike security is a joke, and that's the other thing that stops me cycling, aside from not wanting to die, is you spend a lot of money on a bike. That's very nice. I have now spent a lot of money on someone else's bike.
I was about to say, it's the bike theft is a huge problem, and there's it doesn't seem like there's a way to address it at the moment, other than everyone has to lock up every bike as tightly as possible with the best locks. There's a collective problem here, which we only have individual solutions for at the moment. Is the United States.
You just have to make your bike harder to steal than the one next to it, right? That's the
thing. Yeah, it's like running away from a bear with your friend.
You just gotta. You don't have to be the fastest man in the world. You just gotta be faster than them.
Yeah. Or have a shittier bike.
Yep,
it's a good one.
That's what they do here. People spray paint their bikes, make them ugly as hell. Rusted.
I guess you just need to really start doing secure bike parking facilities.
Which again is like that. That's a whole other like street furniture thing. It's like if every 5 feet you have like a fucking armored bike hanger.
That would be sick, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think they're trying them in New York City.
The most pathetic thing, which they did at my uni, because obviously a lot of people bike in universities, they had clearly someone at the University of Glasgow had remembered a sort of like half-baked study that like people are less likely to steal stuff when there's a sign with eyes on it.
Oh God, the eyes on it thing.
And so consequently, everywhere you might potentially park a bike looked like a fucking Greek trireme because they had just slapped eye posters up everywhere. Just like,
it looks like angels as described in the Bible.
Yeah. Biblically accurate University of Glasgow. Do not fucking steal these bikes. I will be honest with you, this did not work.
My solution back in the day, I used to live in a house on Chestnut Street. And I lived on the third floor of that house. It was a pain to bring the bike all the way up the stairs. So what I wound up doing was parking the bike and locking it in front of the police station.
Nice. You get a bike stolen by cops instead.
Someone did steal my back wheel. Someone stole the back wheel off the bike.
Yeah.
But because it was directly in front of the police station, the police did their job and caught the guy.
So this is the thing.
Nice.
Like, until we can do the thing where like the police actually work as designed, what we have to do is to appeal to the cop ego. Yeah, and therefore make every crime that victimizes you a personal and like professional insult to the police.
Or we just put a police station on every corner.
Yeah,
I like this idea.
Nothing bad can come of this.
Police station covered in eyes. This is not creepy or weird.
You're creepy and or weird.
Every brick has a pair of eyes on it.
You guys see 1984?
I had to go talk to the property detective who had the most cop name I've heard in my life. Detective Pete Black.
That's a great detective.
That is
really
great.
Good.
That is pure that is cop novel kind of name.
Yeah, and it was it was actually a fairly pleasant experience. We bullshitted about the well, at the time it was called something else, but the Washington Commanders. And then he gave me my bike wheel back and asked me to come to court.
Just out of a filing cabinet. It's like, oh yeah, I found this. I took it off this guy's bike.
And then I actually didn't wind up showing up for court, which at the time I felt bad about. Now I'm like, okay, I don't want to subject another person to the justice system. But anyway, that's my bike theft story.
Yeah, I mean, I live in a shitty sort of 70s building, which nominally has a secure entryway, by which I mean it has like a front door that is protected by one shitty like tumbler lock.
Oh hell yeah!
And so everybody in this this building who bikes like double locks their bike to like a banister or something. This shit still does not work. We had somebody kick the front door in, saw off 2 bike locks, and wheel somebody's bike out the front.
You know, in Toronto, there's way too many condos these days, and they have these protected like lockers and places to park your bikes, but they're still infamous for people stealing bikes out of these condo garages because someone can just go in, walk in after a car goes into the garage, and then they just saw off the locks.
I feel as if I've slightly imperiled my own personal safety level by talking about how flimsy my building security is. I'm simply going to say I'm actually a world MMA champion. I feel no remorse about killing. I own a series of bear traps which are positioned at every entrance to my apartment. I will never find your body, and I don't call the cops.
I've found a solution that works 100% of the time for me, which is I store my bike inside my apartment.
Yeah,
I don't have the room for that.
So apparently the police in Vancouver did a trial where they had bike shops register serial numbers into a database when they were purchased, and the police actually cared, and they significantly reduced bike theft that way. But it does require police to care.
Well, see, this is the thing, right? This is why I'm going to get cancelled again. This is why I'm not a police abolitionist, is that my view about the cops is very much the same as the Gandhi joke about Western civilization, where it's like, what do you think of the police? And I'm like, well, I think they'd be a good idea. You know, when do you start?
Yeah. There's a pilot a while back where the Philly police were putting out bait bikes.
Yeah, that was pretty gross, though.
Well, yeah, it was weird because they put out bikes that had
pedal over 35 miles an hour, or the fucking pepper spray goes off.
They had like BMW badges on them.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I don't know. That was weird. Yeah.
Just the cops deciding to just get weird with it.
Yeah. All right. Here's an interesting intersection from Germany.
Oh.
At Earther 87, proposed design for an intersection in Hamburg.
Yeah.
And so they've done a lot of red striped bike lanes.
It's very clearly marked.
It is very clearly marked.
Huh.
It's not necessarily
Much better than
clear,
that Ottawa example.
Yep.
but also I don't know what the traffic light situation is here, but it seems like it's very confusing in general how to use this, because it appears they have like if you're coming this way, you got to get into this bike box to go this way, right? Or if you're coming this way, I don't understand a lot of what's going on, but for some reason the Copenhagen left is enforced here, but not over here where you actually turn left across. Now, complicating this is this bus station here.
The
right?
future wedge. Yeah.
Yes. Well, because the buses only have one side with doors on it, these are both contraflow bus lanes. So you have to look in extra direction than the three you're already looking
Jesus
at.
Christ. But why?
Well, I don't want to put doors on the other side of the bus. That's a bridge too far. Ask the MBTA about that.
Oh my God.
But so, and then we have over here, let's pull out into this box here in order to cross the slip lane here. And then you wait here to go. It's
at a certain point, right? And I would say this is typically when you're 25% of the way across a box junction. You simply have to adopt a philosophical approach, right? And
Yes.
you just say inshallah.
Yeah.
What happens.
You are in God's hands now.
Yeah.
Good luck.
This is one of the most German things I've seen.
It is. Yeah. They've got every detail. There are lots of rules.
This was designed by a committee of Christian Democrats who all look the same. Well, I guess it's Hamburg, so they'd all be SPD guys who all look the same.
Here's over here. You can see there's a bike lane that merges over the turn lane, but then there's a second bike lane which is half of the turn lane.
This is a sort of bike gore.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I find this fascinating. The more I look at it, the more I find this is.
It's
incredible.
Like a Swiss watch.
It is like really a fractal of bicycle infrastructure.
It's one of those incredibly complicated German machines that fails instantly. This is sort of a
the Tiger tank.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I love the contraflow bus lane. That is amazing.
I know, right? The contraflow bus lane is kind of cool. I like that a lot. But
you roll 400 of this junction into Stalingrad, they all fail instantly, get owned, and then for the next 70 years, military history nerds are like, "Oh, but they're so cool though. I'm going to paint a little model of them."
If you're like a very precise and orderly German cyclist, this is fine for you. If you take one step out of line, you're immediately clobbered by 75 vehicles piling up like the police cars in the Blues Brothers.
That's how living in Germany works in every respect.
Exactly, right? Follow the rules and everything's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Judenschwein. Yes, of course.
Yes.
Do not ask any questions about where we came up to this way of living.
Here's a slightly less insane example from Switzerland, from Bern.
Oh, the fucking mountain Germans.
Yeah, the mountain Germans.
The mountain Germans have discovered stripes and are now on a quest to drive us all insane with them.
Wait, the French Germans or the Italian Germans? Yeah.
These
I've made that joke before.
Yeah, but Bernese people are weird just for Switzerland also. Yeah. I mean,
they like to put bears in a pit. They just have a pit full of bears.
Again, who
it's
doesn't?
like a
That's
municipal attraction. They have a
bear hole.
There's a pit, and they put bears in there.
Yeah, the bear hole.
You want to go see some bears in a pit?
Ross, it's called a bear hole. I don't know what you're not getting about this.
Anyway, I have a very tenuous link to this, which is that like a lot of Schlossen, a lot of chateaus in Switzerland have these kind of stripe patterns painted on all of their window shutters. So what I choose to believe is that like a Swiss traffic engineer was just like, yeah, we're just going to apply this to the roadway also, and we'll just see what happens.
Well,
So we have some bike lanes are not colored, but some are, and then it's you go around like this,
yeah, right.
and then you
To make your
merge
left
into
turn.
something that's not clear if it's a lane or not.
If you look in the center, oh, never mind, that's the satellite
Yeah.
fucking overlay. Ignore me.
Yeah.
I thought they just painted a perfect Swiss flag in the middle of the roadway at an angle.
Why not?
Let's do it.
That would be a thing that they would do in Switzerland, absolutely.
Yeah. And you come out here, and then there's a little bike lane here that just ends. And I guess you can do whatever the fuck you want. This is very confusing.
It looks like I see a Swiss
slip lane.
Sharrow there before those three diagonal lines.
I think
That-
so. Yeah, I drew
Oh.
over that, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is very confusing. You also have a bike box down here, which is linked to a very narrow bike lane, which has an implied merge down here. This is all very confusing.
Mm.
Yesat on Reddit says this works better than it looks because people obey red lights in Switzerland.
I don't believe you.
No, that is true.
Yeah.
Like the Swiss kind of madness is to obey laws too much. Like even
Yeah.
the regular
Yeah.
normal Germans think they're insane.
And they all have guns.
my yes, the exhaust of my car is 0.5 decibels over the legal limit. Therefore,
Oh,
I
that's
must
not-
go home, open my can of ammunition for my assault rifles the government gave me, shoot myself, all of my children, my wife. Possibly in this order. I haven't thought about that so much.
Oh, Jesus.
Here's the M5 freeway in Sydney. This is from @Yurt Wallinger. And so you
Oh, no.
That's a very good name. Sorry, I
Yeah.
just got that. Big
Cross
fan
here
of
with-
the
cross here
detective.
with care right into this Mitsubishi.
yes, so you're on the
Good luck
bike
to you.
lane. And if you don't want to go up the exit from the freeway that has a bike lane next to it for some reason, you have to stop and cross here with care, and then get
Noted.
back on the freeway.
Noted.
I feel like with care here is like traffic engineer for you're on
For
your
fuck you.
own.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good luck.
Yeah, good luck and goodbye. I don't remember saying good luck.
Well, you can also see there's a little break in the striping here to indicate precisely where you should cross.
Oh,
Well, that's
okay.
nice of them.
Yeah.
How noble.
Nice
Like,
little
can
attention
they-
to detail.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
Yeah.
from Emma Scudda, but the images are from the Bicycle Coalition of Maine. I believe this is Portland.
I like to imagine that was just ridden directly into that
Yeah.
at speed, stayed
Yes.
perfectly up, and the rider got dismounted, walked away, and took that photo.
Yeah.
I had a
That-
lot of Canadians send me pictures like this too. It was just enormous piles of snow in the bike lane that they aren't going away for months.
Well, it's because
No.
no one has figured out that you can build a smaller snowplow
Yeah.
to clear these lanes. You know,
You
this
can't
is-
even like go back to like shovel off the side of the road. You have to like you get it off of the car lanes, and then it's not a problem anymore.
And this is a problem with a lot of service vehicles in the United States. They continuously get bigger. Garbage
Yep.
trucks keep getting bigger.
Yeah.
Fire
Yep.
trucks keep
Fire
getting
trucks
bigger.
keep getting
Need to
bigger.
import the little tiny Japanese K fire truck.
Yeah, the police
oh,
cars
man,
are
all
getting
those
bigger.
things.
And this is one of
Because
the
now they're
one
all
of-
Ford Explorers for some inexplicable reason, or Tahoes.
Yeah, because especially in like road policing, they make them carry so much more shit that now you need an SUV or a station wagon instead of like a sedan.
Yeah.
But it's a problem if you live in like, especially an older city like Philadelphia. You know,
Shit
if
don't
someone
fit.
says,
Mhm.
if someone says, "Hey, let's install better bike infrastructure. Let's widen the sidewalks. Let's do X, Y, and Z," the fire chief can immediately shut it down and say, "Hey, we can
No.
barely fit our big ass fire truck down the road already. We can't have this extra infrastructure." Right?
I need to 10-point turn my biggest fire engine.
Exactly. And it's like, well, you know, maybe we could have smaller fire engines, but also those simply are not made.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't make those in the United States. You know, you have a couple manufacturers that make them, and if you want to get a smaller fire engine for a neighborhood that has like streets that are 25 feet wide from property line to property line, you would have to get that custom made, and they'll be very, very expensive.
Right.
It's at times like this I remember that there are about like 200 Scania trucks of any purpose in the US, like as a whole.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can just import those. I hate to say it, give the fucking Swedes your money, and they will build you a very high quality small fire truck.
But you can't buy those, even though they're available everywhere in the world, because every single municipality in the United States has a buy U.S. Mandate.
Yes.
So
Jesus.
that you can't.
You gotta go to American La France.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've had people argue with me that these fire trucks can't be used in the U.S. because there are tall buildings in the U.S. First of all, everything's a single family home in the U.S. But second of all, fucking Hong Kong uses these Scania fire trucks, right?
Mhm.
Like,
yeah. And then, you know, the ladder still goes up pretty far. You know, I know in like Germany and the you're allowed to build 7 stories up with a single stair because all the fire trucks, even though they're smaller, can get up 7 stories with a ladder.
Yeah, and there's sort of this limiting factor where, like, as we saw in the Grenfell episode, for a tall enough building, even having like you could have a ladder that goes all the way to the roof, and it doesn't really help you that much.
yeah,
Yes.
at some point in time, you need to have other fire protection things other than a truck that comes to you.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a big building like that, I don't even think you're going to be helped by having.
No.
Well, the single stair is another set of discourse I don't want to get into right now.
Yeah. What we're saying is buy small, adorable fire trucks, and if you are like looking for a gap in the market, if you want some investment, what you should do as an American is start a company making tiny fire trucks.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, note about Scania USA: the Scanias that were built in the United States for United States companies are all massive conventional tractor trailer.
God
type
fucking
trucks.
that's why they have the like the like engine before cab Scanias still.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That was mostly for the U.S. market because
Fuck,
unlike
of
in
course
Europe,
it is.
the total length of the what's regulated is the length of the trailer, not the tractor and trailer.
Cab over engine is a better design.
Yeah.
I will die on this hill.
You are preaching to the choir there, bud.
Yeah.
I kind of like a big the old fashioned American cab overs.
Oh, the American one, like a fucking oh fuck, I don't even know what they're called, but yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, they look pretty cool. I like them.
Yeah,
Welcome to Truck Talk.
Welcome to Truck Talk. Yeah.
I mean, my main thing is I'm a contrarian, right? Like my
really?
sole experience of this
Really,
is
are you?
Yeah, I am. Is American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator, and I want nothing more than to reverse the trucks. I want a cab over engine in American Truck Simulator, and I want a fucking like long cab one in Euro Truck Simulator.
Yeah. But the point here is, it is possible to build a small snowplow to clear out a bike lane.
It's just that cities don't care because
cities don't care.
Aren't real.
They do actually have these in Toronto now. They use those little bobcat front
Ooh.
end loaders, and they
cool.
stick a snowplow on them. They work pretty well.
This is why cities don't want to buy them, is because they're too cute.
They are really cute. And actually, I would love, when I was living there, I was thinking I would love to just buy one, just ride around and plow my own bike lanes, because that would be the most fun way of getting to work.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Our next category, the end.
Yeah, you thought it was the end.
So this is Essen in Belgium.
I see the theme of this segment immediately. This is where you don't allow your rogue bike lane painter to paint a little end thing on the end.
No, it just ends.
It just
ends.
ends.
This is where
it's written die, die, die.
This is for the teleporting cyclist. There's a common theme that you'll see throughout all of the world, really, that bicyclists can just appear and disappear at will.
The actual width of the roadway changes at the end of the bike lane, which is also incredibly narrow.
Oh, it does. Yeah. Great. Perfect.
Wow.
No notes.
Not even a sign. This is no notes. But I guess
you want to do some off-road
simply-
cycling?
You
This is marked as a trail.
Yeah.
I hope you got big mud tires on that
Big
bike.
mud tires.
Big mud tires. And you're
And
dumped
then it doesn't
directly.
like restart.
It doesn't
yeah.
start again.
No, it just,
yeah,
that's
just
it.
ends.
That's the end.
I wonder if
That's
there's
it.
some dispute with the property owner here, because that's what it looks like.
Or maybe it's the next county or something.
And it still
Oh.
has a shower. Although I will say
Oh,
this:
wait.
that
Actually, the bike lane does continue over here.
oh god,
Yeah, on the other side of the right turn
Oh,
line.
that's horrific.
there is one thing I'll note about the shower, and this is a downside of stencils. My man riding an invisible bicycle, which is what you will need to do across this verge. Just perfectly suspended between two wheels.
Yeah. I like
Here-
this one. This was another one that was no notes.
If you
At
want to
least
go
this one,
this
at least-
way, no, you
yeah.
don't.
This
Yeah.
kind of has like
Fuck
this
you.
little turn.
Right into the grass,
Yeah,
asshole.
yeah,
Not
turn,
really
you
sure
gotta-
where you
you
go
got
from
some
here, but
Yield
Just
margin.
turn
grass.
around and go back. Yeah.
Yeah. No
go,
recycling.
Go home. Don't bike here. Go home.
I kind of respect that more than trying to like
Yeah, right.
force a bike lane into like a road that like is clearly too dangerous for us. Just be like, no, turn
Yeah, you're
back. Attempt no landings here.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is not a place of honor.
Yeah.
I guess you're supposed to do this. And then it says bicycle yield to auto. In a very small font. So
the unspoken sign that should be omnipresent.
it's the unspoken rule, which is everywhere, despite
saying the quiet part loud.
Yeah. Now we have to conclude the future of transportation.
The way of the future. The way of the future. The way of the future.
We're all going to have Teslas
Yeah.
instead of this
Yes.
jumbled assortment of bicycles.
Make me.
Oh, he will with the little brain implant.
Yeah. Unless you're a monkey, in which case it'll kill you.
Yeah, it might still kill you anyway.
That's a good point.
So
Still
there's
got room, room for
Mm.
a couple more bikes there on the left.
Yeah, and this is what, like 10, 15 people you could like people's worth of transportation
Yeah.
versus you can fit maybe 5 people in a Tesla.
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically, yeah. I mean, and also, some
7
of those
if you
people,
get the third row.
yes.
Huh? Wait, they
But
make
that-
Teslas for the third row?
Yeah, the Model X. I
Ugh,
wish I didn't know that.
gross.
Yeah.
Why did they make a crossover? I hate
Yeah.
this so
Of
much.
course,
other
if you
thing
did
is-
put 7 people in it, it would exceed the bridge limitation of every bridge weight limitation of every bridge you drive over. So,
And if
you,
you
got to have a cab over engine Tesla.
and if you crashed and the power went out, it'd be impossible to open the rear doors to get everyone
Yeah.
out.
Yep.
I
Fine,
can't-
climb over the seats. Climb
Teslas
over the
don't
seats.
crash. They have automatic driving.
I can't
Don't you
believe
know
those
this?
fucking things are allowed on the road.
I shouldn't
God.
have.
Those videos that have been coming out of the beta lately are, oh my God, they are scary.
I love the tone that Tesla owners have, where what they do is they'll get on Twitter in a public forum, mind you, and they will like clearly attempt to reach out to Tesla customer service having failed, and they'll at Elon Musk and they'll go, "Hi Elon, huge fan. Think you're like the savior of humanity and everything. Also, this just killed my infant.
Yes.
do you think that maybe in like future releases you could make it not do that?
Love you,
Thanks.
Daddy.
Couple of tweaks
Love
needed.
you, love you. Yeah.
I still can't believe the Model 3, I think it's the Model 3, doesn't have a manual door release on the back. On the back pair of doors, you cannot open the doors manually. You have to rely on an electric motor that opens the door agonizingly slowly.
Mhm.
It's like, it's miserable. I mean, I guess,
Hi,
you're,
Elon. Just a small note. I'm currently on fire.
yeah.
And
Not your
I
fault.
was just
XOXO.
I was just
Maybe
thinking
my
that
last
maybe if you got the chance, you could maybe patch this. Thanks, best.
Yeah.
Um,
Love the car.
yeah, huge fan. Gave me an excellent 26 miles of driving before this happened.
Dumbest fucking cars imaginable. It's embarrassing.
Oh my god.
That is embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a do as we say, not as we do in my case again. But ride a bike, ride a bicycle.
Get a bicycle. Ride a bus. Buses are nice. One day
Yeah.
you too could have a nice roundabout like this with a priority bus lane through the middle.
I included this one at the end because it was funny. In some of the Dutch language forums that I'm in, people were complaining about this. And I just think,
this is so much better.
Oh my God.
This is aspirational.
So this is a new roundabout that was put in near Schiphol Airport, and the Airport Express bus goes straight through it. And people were saying that this was ridiculous because the bus will actually turn traffic lights on and stop everything as the bus gets priority to go through. And people were complaining about this. So this is what we have. You see, it's just like everywhere else here in the Netherlands. We have bad infrastructure to complain about too.
Yeah, it's just yours is so much better.
I just want to contrast this because it reminded me. Let's see a similar intersection in Philadelphia.
Oh God.
This is Oxford Circle. A roundabout, and it's got two cut throughs for Roosevelt Boulevard, and then you have several streets just entering it haphazardly, and you got, I think, 4 sets of traffic lights on here. And then
me and City Skylines when I just get bored and I'm just trying to finish out the districts, and I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll fix it later. I'll fix it later. I will never fix it later. What I will do is I'll put a bunch of roads in at weird fucking angles and just leave it.
Roosevelt Boulevard would be pretty good for a future episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think the solution here is clear. The city of Philadelphia has to apply to become part of the Netherlands.
We should cut off Northeast Philly and give it to Bucks County.
Well, it was originally a Swedish colony, so
this will work. This will work.
Yeah, so you're
Plus,
welcome.
if it's Swedish, you can get the Scania fire engines.
That's a good point.
No,
there you go.
Fire
They're like a
engines.
sweetheart deal. Yeah, we've solved it.
We'll make Volvo 850R fire engines.
Yeah, because there's always people who are making noises about Philadelphia should annex itself to New Jersey. But I think annexing ourselves to Sweden would be a better idea.
Absolutely, an
think so.
External territory. Also,
much funnier.
If the brand manager of Scania trucks is listening, sponsor our podcast. I think it would be very funny for us to be sponsored by a truck brand.
I'll endorse those trucks with the 2 little pantographs on them that they're testing in parts of Europe. That'd be cool.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Oh.
Give me a ride in a fire truck just as a fun event for me to do.
Oh yeah, you can be like Trump, you know.
Oh again, he's so relatable.
Yeah.
The Diet Coke thing, thinking that sitting in a truck is cool and like honking the horn immediately. He's just like me.
Yeah. So relatable.
Racist.
Jesus Christ, Alice.
Look, I know this is a Patreon episode, but there's some things you're still supposed to keep to yourself, Ellis.
Let's wrap this bitch up. I'm hungry.
That was the bonus episode.
That was the bonus episode.
Yes.
Thanks for your money.
Yes. Thank you for your money. Unless you pirated it, in which case, well, I hope you learned something.
We understand, but also I got quoted my surgical price for fixing my fucked up hairline, £12,500. So if you are subscribing to the Patreon, you are helping to fund me better hair, like a televangelist. And if you're pirating this, then you're not. So just consider closely what side of history you want to be on.
There you go.
If the people want more Not Just Bikes, where can they go?
They can go to Not Just Bikes.
Yeah, they can do that.
Yeah,
do that.
There you go.
YouTube's best, but there's other stuff too.
All right.
That was Bad Bikes.
Podcast.
That was podcast. And how do I got to get out of PowerPoint?
Yeah.
There we go.
First time doing a podcast.
My God.
Yeah. We'll get it next time.
100+ episodes.
All right. Auf Wiedersehen.